Yeah, I want to be the first guy to beat Naoya Inoue, man.
First to beat Naoya Inoue. Now, I will never knock a brother for being ambitious. You know what I'm saying? I'm an ambitious brother myself. And to be fair, they asked him about Naoya Inoue. What's he supposed to say? I want to be the next person to lose to him. So keep the ambition. That's dope. But I just think things are a little bit out of order as far as what you're going to prioritize. I would like for you to fight the champs. And let's be honest, your championship opportunity has been long overdue. Now, it's only one of two things. Either they're protecting the champs from Shu, or they're protecting you.
Hello guys, this is Rolly Romero.
Yo, my name is Nonito Donaire. What's up guys, Designer's Eyes.
Here with Bob Santos Boxing.
And I rock with Dr. Boxing Talk.
I want to give a quick shout out to Dr. Boxing Talk.
And I want to give a big shout out to Dr. Boxing Talk. Thank you for all the love, thank you for all the support.
You're rocking with Dr. Boxing Talk. Get your daily news from my man right here, the best in the business. Let's get it, baby.
All day, baby.
Amen.
Bam!
If I tell you I'm good, probably you'll say I'm boasting. But if I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yo, what's good, Boxing Talk family? Welcome back to your favorite boxing news channel, Dr. Boxing Talk. We have some things to talk about today involving the featherweight division. I'm talking about BTF Rise Up, because Shu Shu Carrington was recently on the Ring show, right? Inside the Ring. And they asked him about what his future is going to look like, because he currently has no fights on the horizon right now at this moment. But we know he has ambitions to be a champion. And in the midst of all that, he called out Naoya Inoue again, right? And if you're anything like me, it's kind of getting annoying. But like I said, I cannot knock him, because working in the capacity of an interviewee, you're just answering the questions. The interviewers asked him the question, so he's just responding. And he responded how any ambitious future champion is supposed to act, right? And answer it. He said, hey, I want to beat Naoya Inoue. I think I could beat him. You feel what I'm saying? But I just don't really even like entertaining that, because number one, they're not in the same division. Number two, Inoue is super accomplished. And number three, in addition to that, Shu Shu Carrington is not a champion, so he's not really accomplished. But in his defense, he is a WBC interim champion. And, you know, he is on his way to potentially get a title shot. I'll have to defend Shu Shu again, because he cannot fight the title holder, because the title holder is currently WBC champion Stephen Fulton, who is what? He's going up to challenge WBC champion Oshiki Foster at 130. So it's not really his fault that he's not having a title opportunity, but it's just kind of like, you know, it's just seeming like, man, he's calling out a lot of champions. He's saying all the right things, but where are these title shot opportunities? We know the IBF champion Angelo Leo, he has a fight coming up, you know, as a homecoming defense. And who else? So we have the WBA champion Nick Ball. He's fighting Brandon Figueroa. I don't know why Brandon Figueroa is getting another title shot, and I don't know about what happened with Marco Coelho, who's a WBA interim champion. I feel like he should have a title shot, but anyway, you know, so those guys are occupied. And the WBO champion Rafael Espinosa, he's fighting Arnold Kagai, right? And Arnold Kagai, he's ranked number 9. It doesn't really seem like a good defense, but it is what it is. You know, Rafael Espinosa, who I see as the best guy at 126. If anybody could be undisputed, my money would go on Rafael Espinosa, you know. But he's fighting Arnold Kagai, and he shares the same promotion as Shu Shu, Top Rank. So when you think about these things, it's kind of like, hold on. Does Shu Shu really want a title shot, or maybe it's his team that's protecting him? So I want to say this, you know, I don't know if you remember, but back a couple months ago, you know, even going back to last year, you remember this guy named William Zepeda? Yeah, he had a fight with Shakur Stevenson. But if you remember, I was like getting kind of annoyed, and I was like, man, maybe Zepeda does want these fights, but his team doesn't believe in him, because if you remember at one point in time at 135, he was the undisputed mandatory challenger. And what I mean by that is that he was ranked number 1 for all 4 sanctioned bodies. So he was a number 1 challenger to the IBF champion Vasily Lomachenko at the time. He was a number 1 champion. He was a number 1 mandatory for the WBA champion Gervonta Tank Davis. He was a number 1 mandatory for the WBC champion Shakur Stevenson, who he ended up fighting. And then he was also the mandatory for the former WBO champion Keyshawn Davis at the time. So it's like, hold on, bruh. Maybe one of them don't want to fight you. Maybe 2 of them doesn't want to fight you. But all 4 of them don't want to fight you. It looks a little suspicious. So that same suspicion I'm carrying towards Shu Shu Carrington. It's like, yes, he's the interim champion. I get it. I'm going to give him a pass because Stephen Fulton is moving up, as I said, to go fight Oshiki Foster. But Angelo Leo, he doesn't want to fight you too. And now, like I said, Angelo Leo, he is occupied right now. Just announced that he's going to have a homecoming defense against a South African challenger. For your listening pleasure, we are now on Spotify under Dr. Boxing Talk. The same thing on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, everything. Dr. Boxing Talk, man. Come rock with us. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. The Rato Lamini, right? And then you have Rafael Espinosa. He's fighting Arnold Kagai, right? And then you also have Nick Ball. He's fighting Brandon Figueroa, like I said before. And it just seems like, man, he's being left out to dry again. It's either that or they don't really want him to fight these other champions because they're afraid that he'll lose, right? So it seems like the easiest fight to facilitate would have been Rafael Espinosa because, like I said before, they're both top rank and that he's a WBO champion. But I will say this as well. You know, it could be a couple of things. It could be that Top Rank doesn't want to risk Espinosa losing to Shu Shu Carrington, which I don't think so. Like I said, I think Espinosa is the best guy at 126, me personally. So I don't see him losing to anybody, and definitely not Shu Shu Carrington. But it could be that, or maybe they want Espinosa to move up at 130, you know, because I've been hearing that they've been trying to persuade him to go up to 130, but Espinosa insists on staying at 126 because he can make the weight, and I don't blame him. Or it could be another option that they want two champions. They want Shu Shu Carrington to get the WBC champion, and they also want Espinosa to keep his WBO championship and potentially make a big fight for unification between the both of them in the future. So these are all the possibilities, but to me, I just feel like I don't know if his team, you know, Top Rank really believes that Shu Shu could beat these guys. Now, I will say this too. In that same interview, he emphasized that he wants to fight Nick Ball, you know, and he said that he's the best in the division.
I make it known to everybody, the doubters, the believers, that I am the best featherweight division.
And what I mean by that, I'm saying that Shu Shu says that he is the best in the division, but later on in the interview, he also said he wants to fight Nick Ball, which I think that's the best fight for him because I personally believe that Nick Ball is the weakest link of all the champions. You know what I'm saying? Angelo Leo, Nick Ball, Stephen Fulton, the Espinosa. And I'm not saying that as a knock. I would just put him I would just rank him last as far as skills go and stuff like that. So the fact that he wants to fight Nick Ball is great, you know. But just like Shu Shu, Nick Ball was focused on fighting Naoya Inoue, but it seems like he even let that go because Inoue's fighting Nakatani. So I just think we should just... The best way, if you really want to lure Inoue into a fight, is to get a title. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, he has said that he's the best, and he said he wants to chase these titles, but he's been saying that for a while. We haven't seen it yet. So hopefully he does get a title shot. His last fight was against a Namibian undefeated fighter at the time, Matthias Hayta, and that was a good fight because that was a tough opponent. But I will also say, too, nothing about Shu Shu's most recent wins, including Vivas, including Dana Kuwell and Suleiman Sagawa. Some of them were a little shaky, like the Sagawa win. Some people thought he might have lost, but even still, he got the W. That's dope. And I thought he performed decently, right? In all those fights. Some of them were, well, Hayta and Sagawa went the distance. Kuwell, he stopped, and Vivas, he stopped. Those are his most recent fights, I believe. Yeah, those last 4 fights are his most recent fights. But nothing about those fights really stood out to make me feel that he is really a threat to a guy like Naoya Inoue or Espinosa. I think him and Angelo Leo would be a good fight. I would lean towards Leo. I think him and Nick Ball is a great fight. Depends on the referee. If they go let Nick Ball throw those cheap shots and fight dirty like he usually does. So we'll see how it goes, man. But I would just say that I need to see Shu Shu Carrington get a title first. And maybe then we could discuss potentially fighting Inoue. You know, assuming that Inoue gets past Picasso, which we all think he will. And then he'll have to get past Nakatani. And I don't think he will. I think Jutsu Nakatani is going to be where that Inoue train ends. But y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Don't forget to smack that like button. But most importantly, remember, with God, we can do anything. Without God, we're nothing. The doctor's out. Peace. From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.